So next we'll be talking about using images. There are several ways that you can use images within your SwiftUI view. So for example, you can include a SF symbol. So these are the images provided by Apple to be used within your app. You can search for the SF symbol app and download it from the internet. And then within the SF symbol app, you can actually browse various symbols and use them with your app. For example, I want to use this Song Max fill symbol. I just right click it and click on copy the name of the symbol. Or you can just select here and right click to copy it and then open your Xcode window, and now we can include a image with a system name. So a system name basically means the name for the SF symbol. So let's double click that and let's enter the system name. So now you got a SF symbol image. So these symbols are very useful for UI controls. For example, there are varieties of them for check marks, where you can mark whether a progress has been succeeded. And there's also X mark or exclamation mark, where you can use to indicate a failure in the process. Alright, so you can use as a symbol to indicate the success or failure of a process, and various things like address, location, etc. So this is one way to use it, is to use as a symbol. The second way is that you can include an image that is within your app bundle. So for example, within the assets folder here, I have an image called coffee set. So what I can do is I can put image. So this time, select the name, right? And then put the image name here, and then you got an image. Now this is how you display an image within your app bundle. So there's a third way where you the image is fetched from an API in the form of data or a UI image, and at this time you can display it within the image UI image, and then you can just initialize your UI image with the data here. Okay, but we will talk about how to fetch images from the remote sources, so let's talk about this later. All right, so these are three most common use of image. First is to include a SF symbol. For my own app development experiences, this is very useful because you basically don't have to use or design your own app symbols with your app. For example, these little icons above a tab, you can just use a system symbol. You can also include an image with your app bundle, and you can fetch from the API. So as for the image here, you might notice, what if we want to resize it? This is exactly where view modifiers come into play. So first of all, we let the system know this image is resizable. Second of all, we define whether we want to make it fit the view or if we want to fill the whole view. So for example, we can scale to fit, which is which will look exactly the same as before. We can also use scale to fill. So So when you use scale to fill, you can see the image now fills in the whole screen, but some part of this image is now hidden because it tries to fill in the screen. And we can also change the scale to fit. which will fit in the entire screen. Now, we can define the size of the image we want by using the frame modifier. So by default, frame doesn't need to take in any inputs. It's basically it is all optional values, but I can limit either the width. So I just enter the width, for example, 100. And now the width of this image will be exactly 100 pixels. I can also limit the height. Similarly, just put a height. What I also can do is I can limit the width, and I can limit the height at the same time. So in this case, it is going to display a little smaller because the height is small, but it has its constraint, so it needs to fulfill it. All right, so these are the some useful view modifiers for image within your app bundle. So essentially, you should just remember to use these three in order if you want to resize your image. So first, declare the image as resizable. This do have to be put as the first view modifier for the image, and then you make it scale to fit or scale to fill, and then you define a frame. Okay, so for SF symbols, the way to scale it is different because for SF symbols, the way to scale is different because SF symbols are more like a font, more like a text. So the way to do it is you just declare font, and then here you do a system with a system font with a size. So here you can provide a size like 60. Or 100, and now the size of the image changes. You can also define font weight. So for example, if I define bold font, this will be displayed bold, and I can also display like a light font, and then this will display in the light format. So this is basically two ways to use image. One is to use a system symbol, ASF symbol. The other way is to use an image within your app bundle. And when you want to scale the image within app bundle, you use resizable, scale to fit, and define a frame. You can also define the maximum width, minimum width, etc. If you want to scale an SF symbol, you should use the font. Also, as introduced last time, you can use image within text. So to do so, you first initialize a text, for example, username, right? And then within here, what you will do is you will put a slash parentheses, and then you use the image format as we did above, and then, for example, check mark, fail. All right, so these are basically the three ways to use images. Now, what if you want to load an image remotely? This is where async image comes into play. And we'll introduce this in the next video.